Okay, so I'm going to start with getting these ears in now. So I've got the warm grey one, and I'm going to do this one behind. I'm just going to cover it all with the warm grey one. Annoying bit of dust there. And then I've got a bit of a pinky rim around it, so I'm going to go with the light flesh. Only a very tiny bit, just to put a bit of colour in there around the edging. You can always lift your film up just to see what it looks like there. Obviously with the line drawing coming through, it can be a bit distracting sometimes. And then I thought what would be good would go to the Pablo, the beige, and just add a bit of more detail just to fill it in a bit more. And you can vary your pressure. It doesn't really need a lot more because it is the one behind. I'm just putting a few little stray hairs just so it's not a perfect circle. I say circle, but you know what I mean. And then I think that would probably be it for that one. The one in front here is going to have a lot more detail. So let's see what colours would be good to start with first. Okay, so to start with the inside of the ear I think first, and then just work our way out. I've got the Warm Earth 5 here in the Luminance. So I'm just going to lightly cover the whole part of the inside of the ear in. I'm just keeping my pressure consistent for this bit. Right, I've got to watch where. Okay, so I've slightly gone over there, that's fine, I can take that out. Okay, I've just gone over at the side there, but I'm going to leave that because that will just go in with the other colours. So I'll just leave that there. So I think what would be a good colour now would be the burnt ochre back with the polychrome, because we've got like this orangey pink see-through bit. I'm going to put a bit down the corner here. So I'm not doing the whole part. I've got the Warm Earth 5 again, and I just want to go over the burnt ochre. to the sepia 10, just for down the centre of the ear, where we've got this sort of purpley pink. Bring that right down to the bottom. Just want to put a bit more of the sepia 10 up the edge here as well, actually. I think another good colour would be the caput mortuum violet. So we're going back to the polychrome, and then let's just do around the edges. You can just see a bit of shine on the film from my light. A bit better. That's the only trouble when you've got light on film. I'm just using gentle pressure here. So I don't want it to be too dark. I'm just going to switch to the caput mortuum. You see they're very similar. So the caput mortuum and the caput mortuum violet, but the caput mortuum's a bit less purpley or violet-y. It's a bit more bland, so I'm just going to use the caput mortuum. I'm hardly putting any pressure on. Okay, and I think that's pretty much okay for the inside of the ear. So let's concentrate on the outside. I'm actually just going to go back in with the warmer 5 and just smooth it over a bit more. Okay, that's fine. I've got the warm grey 2 and I just want to come down. We've got this little centre bit coming down here. So I'm just going to fill it all in with the warm grey 2. And then I think the sepia 10. Trying to understand where do we come down to here? I think we do. I think sometimes I don't even understand my own line drawing, trying to work out what's what, but I think that's, yeah. Normally I use another point and sort of line it up and just make sure I'm where I think I am. But yeah, I think that's fine. So let's go in with this sepia 10. So it's a lot darker, but we'll fill that in a bit. I'm going to put a bit of the sepia 10 around this side as well, just coming round the ear. Right, so let's darken up this little bit down here while we're working on it. I've got the Pablo Cocoa. Let's put a bit of that up here as well. So we've got like a curve coming round, so I'm just going to sort of do a curve with my pencil as well. And then it sort of comes over and it gets lighter again. So I'm just going to gently go over with the cocoa. Okay, let's go to the caput mortuum next. I think this might be the better one of the two. I'm just going to go over the cocoa. I might as well darken up down here with it as well. I've now got the walnut brown. So if I do something like this, it's just sort of draw what you see really. Okay, and before I do any more with this, I might darken it up a bit more down here. I'm going to do the outside and then we can see if the inside needs revisiting. So I'm going to go back to the warm grey 2. And I'm going to fill in all of this with the warm grey 2. And then sort of curves around this way as we come down the ear. Okay, and then I'm going to switch now to the brownish beige. So let's just keep an eye on the direction of where the feathers are going. The fur, because like down here we've got them coming across here and then they come up. So just keep an eye on the direction. So I'm just using this brownish beige just to put another layer down. I don't know why I've got a little mark there. I think I've got about 4 drawings on the go, so I get a bit confused between feathers and fur, but keeps my brain active. So it comes across this side, and then it's sort of coming around the ear and coming over. I've got quite a big ear. And then it goes back down again. So I'm going off the liner up the top here a little bit because I don't want it to be completely round. I want to do a few irregular hairs coming off fur. Okay, I'm going to do that bit in a minute. Let's switch to another colour now. Now I've got the brown ochre, back with the polychrome. I'm going to use that coming up this side. A bit down here. Right, now switching to the burnt ochre, and I'm just going to go over what I've just done. The colour don't look great at the moment, but we will tone that down. I'm going to put a bit of burnt sienna in. I'm going to bring that round actually, around the top of the ear. Just going to sort that bit out there. Just going to get my warm earth 5. Just want to go over that. I don't know why I sort of came out and then back in on the line drawing. I think I was just going around the outside of the hairs. I've just filled that in. I'm going to go with the cocoa now. Going over that little light bit at the top of his head. So I just want to darken up this side. So I've got the walnut brown. We've got like a dark sort of like parting of the fur here. Put that in. I might go a bit darker still. Now I'm just going to take that up the ear as well, further in places. Put a bit of that under here as well. Get the dark sepia just to darken that bit up a bit more. I don't want to use black. That's it. I'm just going back to the walnut brown. Okay, while we've got that, I'm just going to do the bottom of the inside of the ear. And then just coming around the bottom, so we've got the fur sort of coming this way. So we've got quite a lot going on in this little ear. Just keep referring back to your photo and just draw what you see, really. You can't go wrong then. I'm going to carry on up here a bit more, just go up his ear. There's quite a lot of colour changes going on as well, so let's put a bit of walnut brown over this side down the bottom. I'm going to grab my caput mortuum. And let's just come down this side of the ear now. So we've got quite a thick band here, but we need to lessen it, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to drag that colour into the ear a bit more on the inside. Just bring that over top of the walnut. So these colours are all mixing in nicely. And we just follow it round to the bottom here. I'm using very light pressure. I'm just sort of going over all the colours I've put in gently. It just gives it that sort of pinky orange see-through look that you get with rabbits and little wildlife animals when the sun's on them. So before I come further down this side, I'm going to darken this up. I've got the dark sepia here. Okay, let's just do a bit more over here while we've got the colour. I'll put a bit more up there. Okay, now I need to make this a bit more of a skin tone colour. I don't think the sepia 10 will cut it, but we'll give it a go if I can find it. Oh, there you are. Couldn't find it then for looking. So I've got the sepia 10. I'm just going over this centre bit here. That's better, I think. I'm just going back with the caput mortuum just to put a bit of this in over the sepia 10. Okay, and then I think what we'll do is this little area here. Let's go back with the brownish beige. I've got someone outside using power drills, I think, or some machinery. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's picking it up. Just do the tiny little bit at the bottom there. Okay, so we need to darken this little bit up now. I've got the warmer 5 and I just want to add a bit in this area here. Actually, we'll put a bit up there as well. Okay, and then let's go to the cocoa. And then we've got it all sprouting off in different directions down here, so I'm just going to go back and forth. So I just want to darken up a few areas now. I've got the dark sepia. See if I can dark this bit up a bit more. That's better. I'm just using this to darken a few bits up here and there. Okay, I think that'll be fine for the ear for now. Quite happy with that. I might just soften it up a bit down here, just get the caput mortuum back. Right, so let's move down towards his nose. I've got the warm grey 2. I'm just going to do this area here and just gradually move towards his nose. I'm just flicking that off as well at the edge, just so we've got a few strays there just coming off the top of his head. Then they get shorter as they come down to his nose. So just take that to his nose, that's it. We've got another fur direction change here. It's coming down. bring that down to here. And then it just comes across this side. Right, so we've got a good cover with the warm grey 2 there. Give that a little brush. Now I've got the brown ochre 10%. I'm going to pretty much do the same as what I've just done with this colour. I'm not going to do this bit down the side here, I'm just going to do a bit coming down the side of his eye where it's a bit more orangey and brown. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the Polychromes, the brown ochre. I don't want to go all the way down with this colour, it's just sort of around this bit. Let's go to the burnt ochre now. All these ochres. This is the brown ochre, sorry, the burnt ochre. So I'm going to come down here now. I've got the cocoa, and then we'll sort of work our way across. I'm just doing these little fine hairs coming off. They get shorter as they come down. Okay, just going to shorten that one a bit. I'm wondering if a burnt sienna would be good with the orangey here. So I've got the burnt sienna. I'm just going to put a bit of this in places. got the walnut brown now. Put some darker hair coming through, or fur I should say. We do all those whiskers at the end, I think, once we've got everything in. And it starts to come round. Okay, I just want to get the brown ochre back and just take that up here a bit more, just so it sort of goes in with this bit down here. So just take it up there a little bit. I've got the brownish beige now, and I'm just going to carry on down the side here. So we've got it coming across just down the side of his whiskers here. And then let's change direction, it comes down. Okay, I'm going to switch to the cocoa now. Let's come down this side. While I've got the cocoa, I just want to put a bit more of that around the eye here at the front. I'm just going to bring that out. Put a bit of that up here as well. I'm just lightly covering the lighter area, just so it all sort of blends in with each other and we've got no harsh blocks of colour. We just Just want it all to sort of go into each other. I'm going to switch back to the brownish beige. I'm just sort of going over what I've done really, just to put a bit more of the colour in. I might bring a bit of that up here as well, just to make the fur look thicker. Without, you know, changing the colour. I think I might switch back to the walnut brown just to darken up some random little, you know, just a few little bits, just to darken it up. You can lose it a bit sometimes after a few layers, so it's just nice to put them back in. I'm just going to continue with the walnut brown, just coming down here where it's a bit darker. I've got like a darker bit under his eye. So what would be good next, I would say, is to just carry on doing around his cheek area. So I've got the warm grey 2, and I'm just going to fill in this bit here. Plus we've got some changes, fur change directions coming down there, so we'll just go up to this bit. That's a different colour, I would say. So yeah, we just do this bit here. Let's switch back to the brownish beige. The first sort of sweeping this way, and then it goes across down the bottom here. So we've got some little whiskers coming here. Again, I'll just put a little markings there so I don't lose them. And put them in at the end. Let's just continue the brownish beige. we've got, I'm just trying to work out where I am, so that's the rest of that bit here. I'm going to get my burnt ochre and just add a bit more of that colour coming down here. Just a little bit there. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my cocoa. We've got, say, a bit of a darker bit here where the whiskers will come out later. I think that's all I'm going to do for this bit because it's quite light here. I'll put a few bits of the cocoa coming through. And we'll put some more of this down the bottom bit. Where it's a bit darker. I think that's looking good for the little face there. I think we've got the right colours. I think it's going quite nicely. Just got the sepia 10 here. Just want to add a bit of that down the bottom. Bit of that up here. I'm just going to put this in places just to darken where needed. So I was going to end the video there, but I thought it would be nice just to fill in this little chunk here, and then that would be a nice place to stop, I think. So I've got the warm grey one. I'll use this as a base layer. So we've got the first sort of coming around the ear here. Move my paper along. And then it's just sort of going up. So we're doing a nice sort of curve. And then it goes up behind his ear there. Okay, now this is quite a lot cooler grey coming down here, so I'm going to go with the cold grey 2 next. I'm going to do pretty much what I've just done with the warm grey 1. Just see what it looks like. I'm wondering if the cold grey 3 might have been a better bet. Let's give the cold grey 3 a go. Might just have a bit more. I'll just put a bit more of the, I'll just put cold grey 3 in as well. Just gives it a little bit more. I've got little bits of little fur bits up the top here, just under his ear, so I'm just sort of colouring that in. Joining it up with the rest of the fur there. Okay, that looks okay. I want to go with another cold grey, I think. Actually, let's go with the warm grey 5. It's nice to mix the warm and cold grey sometimes. They really work well together. And I'm going to go with the cold grey 6. And this will just darken it up, especially down the bottom. I'm thinking the cocoa might be a nice colour to go on top as well. I've just got my cocoa back, especially where they join. I'm just going to put some of this in. So it's just like joining all the parts together really as you sort of go down the drawing. Colour sort of comes across here actually. Just put a bit more in, coming across his face. Just sharpened my cocoa just to do a bit more down the bottom here. I just want to get my little rubber, my little Tombow. I'm going to take a little bit out. It's just looking like a bit of a lump here, which is not what I want. That's my little dog there. I'm just using this to put in a few lighter hairs, just to soften it a bit there. So you can use the slice tool for this as well. But the mono rubber works just as well, but if you really want to get some fine details, then the slice tool probably is the better bet. I'm just using this to soften some areas. So I'm not taking it all out, I'm just lightening some areas. I've just got my cocoa and I'm just going to tidy those few areas up. And then I think that'll be it for this video.